Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. And welcome back. And you know that occasionally I'll get a little woo-woo here. And I always put that the disclaimer up there that watch out, we're getting woo-woo for those who, maybe are not 100% comfortable with that realm. If you found us and you're watching or listening today, you probably were searching and it's in your wheelhouse. Going through challenges, maybe trying to figure things out. Maybe it has something to do with your ancestry, or maybe it was a past life. We're going to look at that today. And she's somebody that provides psychic mediumship for many energy healing sessions. She runs deep. I've learned so much from her every time we've gotten together. She's our professional of the year. Alisha B. is on the program. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm great. How are you?
Very well, very well. I mean, I'm intrigued about the ancestry part of what we're going to talk about today and past lives, because the more and more I look into this, the more and more I study it, the more I find that there's a connection to the past, and not just, many times we say it's our childhood that really dictates our future. We deal with traumas that, and again, side note, we've talked about this. There's big T traumas, the major things, but there's little T traumas, a comment that you heard as a 7-year-old, and now you're stuck in that. And that is really piloting how you do life. But before that, though, ancestry and past lives. If you were to put a scale of 1 to 10, all right, scale of 1 to 10, 10 being, oh, yeah, your ancestors and a past life is really dictating your life now, where would you put that? Scale of 1 to 10.
I would put it on a 10, 100%. Not so much dictating, but 100% impacts what you do.
Impact, whatever word we want to use. All I can say is whoa. Like, wow. Wow. Okay. So if we're looking for answers, why is my life the way it is? What's going on here? You're trying to uncover it, figure it out, getting a little spiritual. You haven't even thought about ancestry or what happened in a past life. You really need to look at that based on what you're saying here. Am I getting that right?
Yes. So recently I had a few people come through and their ancestors step forward. I had one where their past life stepped forward. And it typically comes when, like we've discussed before, we start healing that inner and asking those questions of who I am, what's my purpose, what do I need to do? They start to come forward in acknowledgement and to help you resolve things so that you can move forward in this lifetime. For example, one of my clients has not been lucky in finding a relationship partner, and just kind of felt isolated. Well, their past life showed up, I guess is a good way to put it, is like a video watching it. And they were a very prominent figure in society back when, and didn't have an ability to step back and learn about self. It was always people around and super popular. Everybody was seeking this person and they didn't have time alone. So they have set up for that self time this lifetime. But consciously, that person's brain is like, I don't want to be alone. Like, I don't understand. This makes no sense. And then when I discuss with them what their past life was, they're like, I just said that a week ago, that I must have been some form of celebrity. And that's why I'm living a quiet life. And I was like, well, what are the chances that that's who stepped forward today?
And how is the past life of that person being prominent changing their life now? Because I would think that, back in the day, you were so used to, attention and, probably, I'm going hypothetical here, but,
right.
I snap your finger and, people just fall at your feet, that kind of thing. Why could that be holding them back from a meaningful relationship now?
It was, so what I got in that is, in this lifetime, this person feels alone, feels like they're just not doing enough. Like, where's that disconnect with finding my comfort, my happy place with my people? Why am I not finding this already? And when the past life stepped through, it's because you didn't want this yet. You had to learn to be alone. You were not alone the last time.
Oh,
You were always with somebody. You were always like revolving with people. And so you wanted that time to let your soul breathe. And that is like a disconnect for us here physically in our bodies. We want to have that connection. We strive for it. We feel we need it.
for sure.
Where her past life and her soul came through and was like, no, you asked to have time for you. So we're giving time for you. That's not saying you're not going to have your connection. They gave me when this connection would come along for this person. But this is a time for them to learn about who they are deeply and not just that shallow surface of, oh, this is my job and this is who I am, or, things of that nature, but a deep perspective.
That's crystal clear. It really is. And I'll bet you in that past life, or at least it sounds like, they were saying, oh, this is just too crazy. I just need my time. I just need time to myself. I just,
Yes.
I got these demands and it's wonderful, that I've reached this stature in this past life, but I just need a moment.
Yes,
Well,
exactly.
exactly. She's getting that moment now, but in the universe's time, it is a moment, but in our time, it's like freaking years.
Right?
When is somebody going to show up? What's going on here? Why? But I've learned from you, everything that we experience is so that we can learn. So she's learning about herself, learning deeply about herself with this, call it the quiet time where she doesn't have to give her energy to somebody else and attention to somebody else and such. Interesting. Wow. What about the ancestry part of things?
So let's see. Another client I had, this normally comes through in more of my energy sessions because I'm calling in your team. And with your team comes your ancestral line. And they sometimes pop in, sometimes don't. It varies. I don't ever guarantee they will. But with this person, when they came in, just like a general energy, just feeling off. And so we were going to align them. And it turns out they have a genealogy of Native American blood. And so I don't know how else to describe this, but tell you how it was for me. It was much like a channeling where I feel like I step aside and someone comes through and performs, or if that's the word you want to use, or does the actions. We went into a healing hut. I could smell the burning herbs that were going on, and they were like with a feather, like healing this person deeply, like on that, so much deeper than I have ever experienced. And they were just coming through to let them know they were supported, because at this time, this person feels a little isolated, confused about the trajectory of their life, what they're going to do, and kind of just feeling unhappy, lack of self-confidence. And their ancestors stepped forward and said, hey, we're here. We're going to help you. Call on us. Here we are, giving you the deep healing you need, the deep connection that you're seeking. And we're going to be here. And so it was a beautiful experience.
Wow. Do you think many times the past life, the ancestor portion of things, that's what's going on here? As we try to figure it out, we try to, even if you go back to your childhood, maybe you've gotten to that point where you've realized, oh, that's why I act that way, because of this, whatever it is. But there's more that you haven't realized yet. And the only way to figure it out is somebody like you needs to make that connection. Is there any way that we can ever make that connection, kind of figure it out ourselves?
You can. I encourage everybody to meditate. And again, we did talk about this, and I'm not talking about be in a silent room, cross your legs, use yoga. I'm not talking about that. Meditation is very special to each person and how they do it. My favorite place to meditate is when I shower, because that's water running. I'm cleansing my energy and my aura, and I am allowing myself to just receive. It's kind of where my brain shuts off, where if I'm anywhere else, my brain is running, we got to do this, X, Y, Z, or I need to get something, or I'm always running. But in that moment, that's my time to let myself breathe, And that's my meditative moment. And I invite everybody to do that. Sit down with yourself and ask, where did I come from? What was my past life? Again, those questions, and ask your ancestors. Ancestors, I ask that you step forward and let me connect with you, and just leave it there. They will start coming through. You're opening that door, and it sometimes takes longer when you're first trying it out because you have that fear, that reservation. What if they do come through? Wait, am I making this up? And you got to work through that as you move through it.
Or you just feel it's not going to happen because
Yeah.
I've tried it. Maybe not have asked those questions, but I've asked my spirit guides to reveal themselves. Just let me know you're there. Tried it a few times. Gonna be honest, I love you, but I gave up.
That's fair.
And I need to get back to it. And you give me, and I feel us, a feeling of renewed hope that we can make these connections. The shower one, I get you there. There's been times, usually 1 minute, I'm in and out, beam. But the times where I was intentional and had some time, because usually when you take a shower, you're in a rush, unless you take one at night. And I have friends that take showers at night or do take a bath. And I'm like, how do you do that? I can't. I want to. Somebody just told me the other day, she's like, I took a bath. I just set things up and just, nice bath bomb and everything. And I'm like, I just can't do it. I don't know what it is. But there were times where I took a shower and just enjoyed the water and just I don't want to get out of here. This just feels so good. I don't know why it feels so good. The heat, the cleansing, there was something going on there. So for me, and maybe it's others, getting back to that and we all have whatever works for us to connect. I found that, when I lay in bed before sleep, that's where I'm powered down. So I feel like I can make a connection there, but I haven't felt like I've made that connection yet. But you just shared something very impactful, I feel, to ask specifically, where did I come from? What do you want to share with me? I need to get higher insight on me and direction. I'm open. Bring it on. I really want to connect. And just keep doing it because, we get frustrated. Why is it a slower process? Why can't we just throw it out there and then you get something, clearly?
It would go back to the fears. A lot of people call it woo-woo. The metaphysical is not this streamlined system that people accept freely and openly. Yeah. And so when you start working in it as an individual, your fear is, what will I receive or will I not receive? Is this a waste of my time? Or what will other people think if I tell them this is what I'm starting to do? How will I be viewed? Those are fears that typically come up as people work in the metaphysical realm or tap into it. And once we start letting those fears go, I'm going to do it. Whether someone accepts me for trying to find out who my guides are or not, I'm still going to find out because that's for me. That's for me to heal and move forward. And we need to take that time to understand it's okay to do things for you, regardless of what society is going to say. And that's in a positive way. That's in accepting yourself, giving yourself confidence, and really empowering the self-being of who you truly are, and letting those fears just slide off. And once they do, you're going to tap in faster and deeper, and it's just going to bloom.
I get it. And it's having the faith in, I don't want to use the cliche of the process, but the universe. And if you can't figure it out, don't get frustrated. I've had this past week a couple of things happen in my business world. One expected, one not so much. I can tell you, without doubt, I know there's a reason it happened. And the universe is blanking pushing me in another direction. I know it. It's kind of annoying.
Right. It typically is.
It is. And it's like, why are you doing that? It's almost as if you're going like, slapping me down in one regard, actually two in this situation, But I know there's a reason for it. And I know it's to share my talents in a different direction. I know
Yes.
it. There's no doubt about it. I haven't figured it out. And again, it's a little annoying and it stings, hurts a little bit. But I know there's a reason. It didn't all happen in the same week. That is completely unrelated. What are the chances? There are no coincidences.
No.
This is, universe saying, or whatever, spirit, whatever, I'm pushing you this way.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't do anything about it. It is what it is. You mentioned channeling and that you've done that on your own. Tell me about that.
Yes. So part of what I do and what I encourage everybody to do is always work on yourself, work on whatever passion you have, move forward with that passion and put time in developing it and moving through it. And so recently, these past couple of weeks, I've been doing some of that, taking some courses and advancing myself, really connecting deeper. And I sat down to do acceptance of message, anything that needed to come through. And again, it was much like my last channel last year, a general open to humanity. What message can I bring forward? And when I did that, it was heavy. I recorded it this time, luckily, because I can't write and channel at the same time. But going back and reading it, it was about we're in the time of choice, the time for humanity to choose whether they are going to elevate or going to stay locked where they are. It went on to say that and excuse if no one feels this way, this is the message that I got. This is not personal. This is their message, that the people behind the curtains will reveal themselves in order to try and take back control. And so this is a time for people to ascend, to open up and accept themselves, to go deeper and to allow the messages to come forward that help us elevate our unity consciousness. And so it was a beautiful message for humanity to say, pause for a moment. Yes, there is a lot going on right now. There's a lot. But take that moment and decide if you are going to stay locked in and be fearful and, nervous about what's coming out, or go into an acceptance mode of this is going to help make us better. This is going to elevate things. It might be a rocky road, but it is going to be better for us. And that's the choice that we're at with what's happening in the world today, per that message.
So your channeling is, I thought it was personally for you. It was more of a message for all. Yes.
There are times that I'll do personal requests for me from my ancestors or for my past lives. I like to do the general ones for humanity. I'm here to help people heal. I'm here to help people elevate themselves. And so a personal message for me doesn't help the collective, doesn't help humanity. And I like to do more humanity level, collective level messages.
Your channeling brought two things. We can move forward in a certain direction, or we can stay where we are.
Yes.
Is it a bad thing to make the choice? No, I'm good. I'm just going to continue what I'm doing. We're good here.
It is not a bad thing. Whatever you decide is the best for you, for your soul at this moment when the decision is needing to be made. I will never say you need to go one way or the other. This is better or that is worse, because I don't know where your soul is at. I'm not you. I'm not inhabiting your physical being.
Can you tap into somebody's soul to see where they are at? Maybe we don't know. Okay.
Yes, that I could definitely do. But again, even if it comes up and says, hey, you need to make these choices along the way to ascend, I can't force you to do it. I can lay it out for you.
Sure.
And your choice is there. If you choose not to do it, that's fine. That's okay, because that's meant for you. If you choose to do it, that's wonderful as well, because again, that's meant for you. But it's all personal choice. Even if you have everything laid out and given to you like a roadmap, no one can persuade where you feel most comfortable. And your soul has to make that decision.
What if you're not sure? You haven't figured it out. Choice A or choice B, whether you should move forward in this direction, evolve further, or stay where you are? What if you can't make that decision?
I would ask yourself which way feels better. And I know that's like a really basic way to say it, but take option A and option B and say, do I feel good with option B or good with option A? Okay, option A makes me feel icky, so I'm going to stay over here. And whether that be to elevate or stay, that's the option you should choose, where you feel that you should be in there and where it resonates with you overall. That is not to say if option A feels complicated, like, oh, that's too hard, doesn't mean you shouldn't go for it, right? But if it does not feel like it connects and you feel like, ugh, that's just bad, that just feels bad, don't select that option.
From my experience, getting a little more spiritual, looking at all of this, feeling a better connection within, I feel that when I make those choices, or I'm being called in my mind that you need to change this. Come on, dude. Like, seriously, you know the right answer. Let's get going here. It's crystal clear for me. Now, do I listen? No, not always. Got to be honest. But I know the answer. And I've found in the last few years of just getting more, I guess, connected to myself, that's clearer, or way clearer than it was before. Like there's a night and day. It's very different. And I think that's, just connecting with your higher self. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. Was it cultivating, like making that connection, and you are nurturing it. You're allowing it to flow. And again, like you said, you may not agree, you may not do what you're feeling you should do. That's free will and choice. That everybody has that, and that never gets taken away from the spiritual form, from your spirit, and from that side. It will never be trampled on. You will always have that ability to do. And so as you delve deeper into it and it becomes clearer, then you can make those harder decisions. Oh, I should do that. It's going to be a struggle, but I know I'm supported because here they are telling me what's happening. Like they're revealing more instead of it just being like, go this way, you're on your own. They start giving you some more support and you feel it and you actually embody it. Yeah.
It's almost like, a parent saying, don't worry, we'll take care of you. You're good. Don't, but it's like walking on the ice, on a pond in the winter, the ice going to crack? You just, you tiptoeing. I don't know. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to go out there. But your new life could be on the other side of the pond.
Yes, and they will as you evolve. This came up recently for me, and I thought I was over fears with what I do. I had a fear bubble up, and I was like, "That's not mine." And then my energy dropped because I didn't acknowledge, and I was like, "Oh, wait a second. Is that really what I'm fearful of?" And so I had to do some deep shadow work to find out this was something connected to a persecution in my last life for the gifts that I have in a past life. And so it bubbled up unexpectedly, and I didn't have a conscious or subconscious thought that I was afraid of that, which was having my face associated with healing. I'm someone, even in the military, when I was helping service members as an NCO, I wanted them to have the light. Don't put my face on it. I didn't do it. They did it. And so I didn't think that was a fear, but it was. And that's what Spirit showed me. That's a fear. You're trying to sugarcoat it, but no, really you're afraid to step forward. So
why do you think I haven't made change? There is a fear, but I know the answer. Final question, real quick. We're just out of time, but I got to ask this question. You mentioned, I believe I heard you say in another life, you had the talents that you have now, being able to connect, guide people spiritually, etc. Was that in the other life? And did I hear you clearly that you got persecuted for that then? Yes,
that is what I was told. Yes. Well, not told, shown. It was a video in my,
Wow. I know this is very deep for many, but having myself walked a journey, done some of the work, however you want to phrase it, the stuff starts to come clear and clearer on a regular basis. And even talking with you today, just wonderful in realizing that, yes, don't give up. Speak to your spirits,
Yes.
your higher self, whatever. It's don't give up.
Don't give up.
Yeah.
Never.
If we want to connect with you for a reading, guidance, mediumship, whatever, how do we do that?
The best way is insightpsychics.com/Alisha. You can also send me a text message or leave me a voicemail at 256-469-8111.
Always wonderful talking with you.
It's great talking with you again.
Thank you. We'll be right back. Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her?
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge?
Got to get this all straightened out. Give a little talking to, man to man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve! Is now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend?
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.